Taking a little bit of time out of work. Well, not really time out, it's my lunch break. Still got a little bit of time to start taking off the bumper, get the bumper off, and got most of the dirt and everything taken off, but it looks like I'm going to end up having to maybe replace my fuel tank or swap the fuel tanks too. There's some weird stuff going on over there, but I'll clean it and strip most anything that's bolted on off, clean it, paint it, and put it all back on. So there we go. Well, I got the bumper off, sitting right there. I always, if I'm working on something, I remove the bumpers and put them back on and put anti-seize on the threads, because if you ever need to remove the bumpers and stuff, it's just so much easier. I like to, anything with bolts, I like to take off and either replace with new ones and use anti-seize on every single thread. And then if you ever have to take anything back off, it's a piece of cake. All right, well, that's all for now, and I'll get back to working for Dave Sparks. Well, if you've seen Dave Sparks' video with his fire truck, we had just fixed some of the things on it, got it working today. I fixed the power steering, and then Dave got us wet. So we got pretty soaked from that, and they're cleaning out the shop. So they had the door closed. What was that?
It was a great day.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Nice bath.
Yeah. So yeah, Eric joined us. We were all lined up against the wall like we were in the Soviet Union back at the communist days, and we got hit by that upper nozzle up there and won some cash. Since I lasted the full amount, I won $1,000. I don't remember how many of us won 1,000, but there was quite a few of us, so it was pretty awesome on Dave. But he was being easy on us. He could easily have gotten rid of more of us if he would have hit us more full on with it. So that was Dave's shenanigans today. Looking at the truck, still gonna be working on it here after work. Well, I'm back to work at this, just taking more things off, trying to get everything I can unbolted, and anything that was added on after. They welded on a section to hold the exhaust, which I'm taking off now. So I'm gonna have to get that all taken care of. Probably have to remove the fuel tank and a few more brackets, and then I'm going to try to get it sandblasted. But the question on the sandblasting is whether or not we have a compressor that works. So, all right, well, I'll get some more work done. Well, I come across these things ever so often. I came across that when I was working on the Het Wrecker and things that you don't do. And I've got number 2 on things don't do this. So, and I'm stripping everything off this frame and get to the spring set. Guess what I find? Well, it's sort of hard to see here. We'll come over where the sun is on this side. What is wrong here? And I've seen this happen quite a bit. And every time I come across this, I fix it, because what they have here is a bolt and they have a nut here. Now suppose you're out and something happens to your axle springs when you're out, and you have to replace your spring set when you're out in the field. Well, you're sort of screwed, because you can take this nut off here in the bolt, but there's no way to pull the bolt out. There's just no way. Yeah, it's like, why? Okay, yes, if you try to flip this around, this bolt here will stick and rub against it. But what you do is you measure the bolt exactly, and then you make sure it ends here. And if your bolt's too long, it's really easy. You just cut it off right there, and then swap it around. So if you're out in the field and you break down, you don't have a nightmare, because even if you take this lower bolt off and you're out in the field, this bracket isn't still in your way. You can't easily get to the spring. You have to completely unbolt all the other stuff first. Maybe you have to do that anyway, but it makes it a whole lot more difficult to have to deal with this when you're out in the field. So basically what I am going to do is I'm loosening these up. I like to take them all the way out anyway and put some anti-seize on those so they don't freeze up and so that they move easy. So don't do this. I mean, really, seriously. I mean, this is such an easy thing to take care of, and it just boggles the mind that somebody would do this, because it's just so simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that off on both sides, and then I have to take this off. Now, because my bed is off and I've got enough space, I will be able to lift this spring up just enough that I can take the bolt out. And if you're out in the field, you may not have that easy of a way to get this thing up to get that bolt out. So what I'm going to do right now is I am going to clean up the threads, loosen the nut, push it back in, then cut both this one on this side, and then come around on this side, cut that one right there. I'll take this bolt out, lift it up, flip that bolt around and put it back in. And I'll do the same here. But seriously, I mean, I really don't know what goes through people's minds when they do this. So, and I think it actually comes like this from the factory. And it's just, I just have no clue on why they do things like that. All right, let's get at it. Okay, well, I pulled this out. I'm going to turn it around. Try to get it back in here. Now, it's a little tight against the side because I have to basically force pulling this thing up, and the axle's a little tweaked. So it's going to grab here at the very beginning, because I'm like picking it up with the ratchet strap. Oops, dropped my nut. Let's grab another one here. And the reason it's so close is because the axle's tweaked and pulled it in. Once I get it pushed back down, it'll fit in there fine. So I can't hold this and do that at this time, so I'll get back. So there you have it afterwards. I've taken the bolt out, put the nut there. I got plenty of space back in there, probably like normally almost a half an inch, but when you get to the ridges, it's got like about 1/8 of an inch. And so if you have to take that off without having to mess with all that, it's much easier. So now I'm not going to tighten these, because when you tighten them, the bolt will no longer want to turn. And I have the axle spin in the air, so this is not sitting where it is, and I don't want to stress the rubber. So once I put the proper weight down on the frame where it normally stands, then I'll re-tighten those. Just don't want to put extra stress on the rubber. So I need to do the other side, and I'm going to call it a day. Now, sun's going down. It's actually quite beautiful. So I can get that sunset there. Yeah, I can see it just going down. I got all the rear bolts all taken care of, anti-seize on them. The next time I come up, I will do the front bolts on both sides. And I think the only other thing is to get, I got the bolts for the upper parts of the shock loosened up, but I haven't got the ones down below. I'll do those. I'm just going to probably leave the U-bolts, not mess with the U-bolts, because I'd probably mess them up taking them off. And if I get to the point where I have to do the springs, I'll end up having to just get new U-bolts. So, and then I have to remove the fuel tank because it's in the way for getting all clean. But pretty much everything else, I probably might loosen up these bolts here and then put them back in. But it's mostly all ready to be sandblasted. So, well, that'll be a good evening, and everybody have an awesome night, and God bless.